Agriculture in Uganda is predominantly rain-fed, but the effects of climate change manifested in erratic rain patterns, prolonged dry spells and floods are causing havoc. As a result, farm-level productivity has always been far below the attainable potential for most crops. To address this, the government of Uganda is not seated. Today, the government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, has already got a solution to help farmers.
So, tukaseserera elangerendre etiremwa chama bitunga mesa wona kuri ayo awona hikir.
A number of local governments in the country, including Kasese district, are implementing the micro-scale irrigation program, a project supported by the World Bank through the Uganda Intergovernmental Fiscal Transfers Ugift reform program.
Micro-scale irrigation is a subsidiary of the bigger Ugift program. Ugift program covers other sectors like health, education and agriculture. In health, we are doing schools, seed schools. In education, seed schools. In health, health centers, and in agriculture, specifically they are handling micro-scale irrigation.
Under this program, farmers are given support to enable them to purchase irrigation equipment.
Micro-irrigation has a number of technologies involved, and these technologies are the ones we are demonstrating to the farmers. And I also know that many of these technologies require that somebody gains enough skill to be able to utilize them and also demand for more. So as I speak now, we have established the demonstrations. The farmers who are hosting the demonstrations are being trained on how they can utilize these demonstrations now to produce. So the agronomy part of it, is now what we are emphasizing.
Before I go any further, let me first take a second to understand its definition. Drip irrigation is an efficient method of watering plants by delivering water directly to the root zone. It involves the use of a network of pipes with drapers placed at specific intervals to release water slowly and directly to plants. But this one is an in-depth look at the system. Allow me to take you through some of the advantages and how it can benefit farmers and gardeners by growing all sorts of crops. The system is not like the rain gun sprinklers. Drip irrigation can be boring, but in the world that needs to produce more and more food as the population grows, it should have come yesterday or last month.
Abandu bangabere ibamabirilo mwabuna kupotsevu kusangwa ngasamalera bukake hayo kwa mani wa mundu angabere nekakolesaya akayaheka meso kwa lusi akasawo taringo mwa echimbido chetwe chapule chiro echatukahola mwa wotaringikana.
Should have arrived the other day. Not even yesterday. It has been a huge demand around, so it's a big relief for our people.
A government yaberanga kasivai kuyabulet luba emiremire nemiriri nemingiriri ogufanga balimi naryo kandi yangabere yabere yongara.
In Kasese district alone, climate change has resulted into unpredictable weather patterns, and as water supply for agriculture becomes more challenging, drip irrigation should be treated as a superhero that can save humanity.
When the district sat and realized that there were many disasters, in the planning, they agreed that as they plan for every financial year, at least every department should put aside 3% to address the issues of disasters.
This is Moete village in Kyalumba Town Castle in Bukonzo County constituency, where I met Samson Mutswanga, a family holder of 11 children.
Omasi ono muna security funga una assistant agriculture owe jarumba town kaso ngali programu eya biasa eya Ugift micro scale irrigation the program ke yabirihika okwa district erisamalera ebyo buleme tukwetesa biwana yandreke.
Mutswanga says he has been farming in this area for many years.
Eyi ni season eya kabere omundu okubanza omuntu alema eshenyanya hema ne shekabichi omundu akabere itwa abantu amasuchamu still eshenyanya hema ne shekabichi.
But for the last 3 years he has been specializing in vegetable growing, but he could not harvest to his expectations because of erratic rain patterns and prolonged dry spells.
Kondra hatia sinanga bwindri ebi ninyesibwa ya inje government bana musenyirisya nenalengesya awai kikamanye sendre erilwe nyuma nesinga gutebwisi babona kusebu okoluhandi olumubiri uyu.
These days Mutswanga and his family are all proud because they are beneficiaries of Ugift program.
Omubiri oyo nabiryanzawo kundengalangera nikyuma okwekikendi weticha
nabataka tunamwenda tukayeshyavo twanama banambu tunayo wamure biwo bano na utaya herebiti nanga ngikulu okwabashalabo aho cyo tunamukikora.
Ugift program has proven to be one of the most efficient for a wide variety of crops.
Eno cabbage yatunakweno ni nimbuto eya fanaka F1 embuto yakabuneria ni baraka F1 ekirekire esezi yabenganyikenyike anyuma ho amaetse mabenga kanyi keherera ininga kulisa amaetse aweri shomolu sherehekawo na ribusano musimu nene shamanga seka keherera.
To understand the selection criteria over the beneficiaries, Benson Agaba, the Kasese District Senior Agricultural Officer, is here.
A farmer has to have land, access to land, for at least 12 months because this program is expected to last the financial year. For you to be able to benefit, these processes of procurement and all that should meet you still on that land. Secondly, that land should have a water source, an existing water source that has sufficient water for irrigation and reliable. And that water source should be within 700 meters from the farm. Thirdly, that farmer should be willing to co-fund. And in this case, since under this program they promote solar technologies, that is renewable energy pumping. In that case, the farmer will contribute 25% and government subsidizes by 75%. So that means that a farmer should be willing and able to co-fund for him to be eligible. The other one is that his land should be good for irrigation. So those are some of the basics for him to qualify to benefit in this program.
Agaba explains that drip irrigation can be used for small-scale gardens as well as large fields of crops.
And this program specifically deals with simple technologies. They are simple in a way that they are affordable to a subsistence farmer. But when it comes to the design part, they are a bit more complicated than those large-scale systems that you see, although the investments are always heavier for large-scale systems. Now, when you go on the farm, it will depend on many factors. One will be the choice of the farmer. For the demonstrations that we have, demonstrations showcase different technologies. But for the farmer himself, it will depend on the choice of technology. But the choice will be guided by some other conditions around. For example, the terrain, the nature of the soil, the type of crop he wants to grow, the type of water source. All those will also have an effect on the final system he chooses. That one will be guided by the technical people who involve us and other trained district personnel.
This means that you are taking only small drops of water and placing them rightly next to the plants.
There are so many programs that have come, but when it comes to a farmer, when you provide water to a crop, all other things come in place. So I believe that it will significantly impact their incomes.
So it is highly effective in saving water because you only put droplets to right down where the plant is placed.
Na tukayara ersigikira esya droplet nengo kusukoleji ngokwasera kundi munesha maka esya drop seria. So ani drop aho tukahiraho akatina akono nyanya famahera akatina ha andaka tukeka hera ha itwa hera ha nakatwa hera ha lakini itwa hakatiketi ehanyakanya aka 10 centimeters ekikala kitwa rekola kandu ako nge drop line amagete tukanza nuko ando masha 10 centimeters amadroping tukonza sinkadakanga mukumira na masaserera at least akabina recoveryinga omanyogwesya 10 centimeters.
Using these methods of irrigation, Agaba said that a farmer registers less soil erosion. It leads to healthier growth of crops.
Ministry of Water was the intervening with the mini irrigation schemes and large-scale irrigation schemes. But micro-scale, that is irrigating at individual level, someone owning their own system and operating it. That is what now government focused on. That if we could have individuals have their own systems on their farms, it would work better and improve livelihoods. That is the whole concept of micro-scale irrigation under the Ugift irrigation program.
To understand what Agaba is explaining, walk with me to Muhokia Town Castle, where Patrick Benghania and his wife Susan Kabuo are doing wonders.
Here we have some hills around. So when we used it to plant without trenches, the rate of erosion was high. So like now, we are trying to control at least the erosion, and we are seeing some changes. And the mulching, we used not to mulch. The soil could get dry easily.
Iyi ni direct. Ukakusura maete unamuteka umarema. Mbona nibu tukubwechi a generator kabe kekol. Very expensive.
The couple narrated that the program has positively trickled their thinking about commercial agriculture.
Lakini ngalengekana yende na matroka. At least ngishaenda na bale kola ena betunga mushe esya tons. At least na malemu ngalekana cyangana ngana tunga 2 tons. Kandi nangi encouraging ndio mundu amanzo obuleme ukabwanza ngo mwana yuko bye ubuti. Because siwanga awashanyanya runde yo kirime kisikyosi siwanga kiha omuongo ko unze ukisuta jisamale ukabisikia bya chao.
It is at this point that I learned that the issue of gender was emphasized at the inception of Ugift program.
If it is the female applying, then the husband should be in the know and should be encouraging the attainment of this system and should actually practically participate in operating and maintaining it. Then also the children are supposed to be oriented into how it works how you use it, and all other related activities around that farm.
If possible, they try to mobilize the other people so that they can cope, because it is a good system which can help each and every family. If possible, if everyone can afford to use it, it would be a good strategy to eradicate poverty.
Amuri Mohammed is another beneficiary of the program.
Then one day mnalangira mwami agava owe district akasanyi bungira district engineer manyi bungira niramanyi bwera kongoko hane programu yera abira abandu benanga na ina manza namikiriria then bamalete shafumu namasifilinga nomukali waye n'abandi nabirengane aho namalangiraho baengineer bakasibwa team mwacu kiasa omukali nomulume bamashasa veinga bamapima bamaenda. After some time bamasana bintu sha material bakasha installing.
Mohammed, resident of Mpontwe, Lubirhatan Castle, currently grows a variety of crops, including cabbages and cucumber.
Esa henunga iremwe cabbage, ne cucumber nyike, ne spinach. Generally cabbage ya makola ndeke. Namalangire cabbage kabisa yangana shughuli ya sente.
At his farm, I saw solar-powered equipment, and he revealed that the equipment is not expensive.
They just gave me the system. Simbambe tanka, bamba cha drip lines yesi, bamba solar pump, a pump ne solar yako.
To answer the questions on everyone's lips, here is Julius Baloku, the Kasese District Senior Production Officer.
But as a program, we still have this financial year to support an estimate of around 50 farmers with this equipment across the district. Next financial year, we hope to support another 50 farmers. Our target is that in the next 2-3 years of the project, we have close to maybe 120 farmers who have micro irrigation systems at the farms. Opportunity can be available that we continue for more than 3 years. Our target would be that all those areas that have got potential access irrigation. But still, once we have hit our target, we encourage that people who are able should procure these equipment and establish irrigation schemes at their farm. It may be very hard for us to say from this support, everybody who needs it will get it. It is very hard because the resources are limited. We only encourage that those people who are able, once they have visited these demonstrations, once they have visited the benefiting farmers and have seen how they are performing, they should also now consider making an investment in the procuring of this equipment. Because once you invest in it and produce well, you'll have income in your home, you'll have food. So we are encouraging that for those who will benefit from the project, yes, let's utilize the equipment. For those who will not benefit from the project, at a later stage, get some resources and invest in micro irrigation. Because it's the way to go, given that we are now talking about climate change, which is a phenomenon that is not to be addressed today and tomorrow. We must see how we mitigate against the effects of climate change. So I encourage strongly that we should adopt this and make sure it is the way to go for us to be able to have money in our pockets, to be able to have food.
Baloko believes that the program was overdue.
Kasese district is one district that is productive. It has big potential for production, and in fact in many places that potential is not yet fully exploited. And why that potential has not been fully exploited is because we get situations that affect production. And these situations is what I would describe as the long dry spells that affect some communities of the district during some seasons. And so because of that, even when the soils are productive, because the climate is not favoring, many farmers have suffered losses. And because farmers have suffered losses, we feel the only alternative is for us to have water available. Water available that should be able to help us irrigate crops and produce. Now, for those farmers who are relying on rainfall, having registered a lot of disappointments because of those dry spells, it has now increased the demand for irrigation facilities.
In Karusandara sub-county in Msongora South, the program is implemented by Esther Sanyu.
Bakanyina ni project ene rumasa abantu bakula ba engineer bamambarambo ngatimbye chidiva na machitemba nana bechitemba bamandisha material bara bamandisha bakenyesha kungeri nishamo MAAIF bara na matsukicha kore na matsukicha tisinga umesengo kwanga bara twa bangira kwa nini akekola na twa hatu atsukira tukalema na rehera mo bera mshape ipo sikaiko kwerema.
Sanyu led my camera to her garden.
Mene ngala mango kutukana lemevyali bya buli chiro. Etwale mabeto waberevere momo mwese neri musinya bitu. Betu twa malemi nikisimbula yana mawa na tutukana hulula. Ona hulula vikosa. Uni yangi 10 nebihimba. Tobe tukawulivimba byenyachi visi. Itwahera vuba na itwa meri embula ya mawa na itwahiri yanyachi visi tukawulira ye wa mawa.
To understand the political determination of this program, here is the Kasese District Chairperson, Elfaz Muhindi Wokombi.
Mini micro irrigation scheme in Kasese, it started 1.5 years back. Farmers were sensitized and the district decided to begin with the demonstration farmers across the district. The farmers were trained, inducted on how to go about it, and they were told what would be done, and then the subsequent farmers who may want to adopt the technology, those who would apply solar, they would pay 35%, and if you opted for electricity or if you opted for other means other than solar, you would pay 75%. The farms on which we are demonstrating as a district, we are seeing results. Because at the end of it all, these farmers will be producing throughout the season, whether dry or wet season. Why did we opt for this? Because from the major irrigation scheme that we have in the district of Mubuku and the mini irrigation scheme which we have in Mohocha, we had seen that people who are using the schemes were producing food throughout there. And so we thought by this micro irrigation scheme would help us.
We didn't know that crops can be treated because we had not yet got the knowledge on managing different crops. Yeah, and then the soil erosion.
Muhindi is optimistic that the issue of standard growth has got a strong arsenal to eliminate it in the district.
Because one of the reasons why there is stunted growth, people are fed on specific foods like energy-giving foods, leaving other foods. But when we go in for this and encourage people to grow fruits, people grow vegetables and other food stuff that will be able to give all the food nutrients that are required, we would be able to fight it. But still, this goes hand in hand with sensitization and proper nutrition education. Because even those who have food, sometimes you find them selling all the food and eating what they think is good food for them when it is not good food as such. So, coupled with the issue of nutrition education and people producing food throughout the year, would be in a position to fight malnutrition in the district.
Muhindi's assertions were concretized by Rose Mbambu, who attested that a change in dietary levels has been recorded at her household level.
Ambana nenyenana konde tata netumutwe limire twemeri na ina mabunya heru ngatimbo mavyale ngasoloma ngo ngara na tsena konde nasanga usinga ngatiye byali abangana na ene muna tukiriye na mawuli na matoko bulembere abana no ngana mulemberabo ngana mubasumbira byali bitorera omusye kubesinja kutse.
Since agriculture is a backbone of this economy, everyone, if supported, we can change the narratives that Agriculture is not a punishment.